Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And this story needs to be filed in the You Couldn't Make It Up category. There is much been said recently of the pretendy embassies that Scotland has all around the world. These are unnecessary because there is, of course, the British Embassy in every country in the world, and all the work that needs to be done can be done out of those. But Scotland's desire, I suppose, well, not even Scotland's desire, the SNP's desire to appear important and as a major player in world politics means that they have to spend millions upon millions of pounds maintaining these offices and fully staffed with all these people, and yet nobody knows why. But here's where the story's going with this one. The people who work in these offices are complaining that there is a lack of staff and that there's too much work to do. We've been presented, ladies and gentlemen, with a problem, and I know a very, very easy solution to cure the problems that these people have with their complaints about being overworked. I think we know what the solution to the problem is, but we'll take a look at this and see what on earth is going on at this, and it is just a joke. Anyway, here goes. So, employees at Scottish, and they've put it even themselves in quotes, embassies, complain about a lack of staff despite the £9 million annual spend on them. Now, I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but I think £9 million a year not being spent on these embassies, offices, they're not really embassies, could be better deployed. You know, a few million into the NHS. You could hire a few doctors, you know. That might make a difference. You may put £1 million, say, into the education system. Buy some books. That could make a difference. Maybe hire a teacher or two. Who knows? Who knows the untold wealth that could come by not wasting money on these pretendy embassies. There's all sorts of things you could do instead. But not the SNP. No. Because if they don't have their own embassies, people might think that they're a bit of a joke party otherwise. Anyway, the Scottish Government published a report looking into the benefits of its 9 taxpayer-funded international offices, with the majority of them complaining about a lack of staff, despite the thousands of pounds plunged into each of them. And it is an absolute joke. So look, there's Brussels, a very nice, well-appointed office in Brussels. But nobody knows why, because they don't have any international standing. There's no diplomatic standing. The people working for, they don't have an ambassador, because it's the British ambassador that is the ambassador. They don't have any sort of rights. They don't have diplomatic immunity. They don't have any, legal basis for being there. It's just a little ego trip for the likes of the Grand Mufti, because he needs to feel like he's important. Nobody's told him, I think. Nobody has ever told him that he's not. Officials at Scotland's controversial international offices have complained about having too much work to do, despite the Scottish Government supplying almost £9 million of funding to run them. 7 of the 9 sites are also based inside UK embassies, meaning that the support is offered by staff there. And they still have too much to do. Bless, is it too much for you? Let me think of a way in which we can ease your burden so that you don't have all that extra work that you have to do, all that struggling to get into that office. Maybe something less difficult, like, I don't know, unemployment. The SNP executive has previously been slated for the expensive cost of running these, quote, embassies, which it claims help them promote the country abroad, because nobody in the world has ever heard of Scotland, apparently. I'm just drinking some brown water. I don't know what it is or where it comes from. Glug. A load of crap, isn't it? Anyway, foreign policy is a reserved matter, of course, and the UK government diplomats help their Scottish counterparts by facilitating meetings. I think that needs to stop. The offices need to close, and you need to send all these scroungers and parasites back to Edinburgh with their begging bowls and asking the Grand Mufti for a job there. Maybe they can do some good. Or maybe we should just fire them and save millions upon millions a year in costs. that can be used for betterment of the people. If you're going to spend money, you spend it on people, not nice flash offices, so that Billy No Mates down the road, who happens to be your cousin, gets a nice wank fest of a job. Now, the Holyrood administration has published a lengthy report claiming that the 9 lavish offices deliver tangible benefits to our people, businesses and institutions. Any citations to that? Any proof that that is the case? Constitution Secretary Angus Robertson, who's often treated to visits to these foreign premises, added, from attracting overseas investment and growing exports to facilitating cultural exchanges, exactly the sort of things that can be handled by, the British embassy. Very weird, isn't it? You don't have an embassy for East Anglia, for example. You don't have the Cornish embassy. Although, incidentally, if you go down to St James's, just off Piccadilly, and there's a shop, you go past, what's the Hatter? Locks. Just go past Locks, the Hatter. And there's a little door, and on it is a little brass plate. It's about that big. And on it says, the embassy, the Texan Embassy. That's it, the Texan Embassy. It really is. Anyway, the report reveals that the taxpayer-funded staff at some of these sites bemoan the fact that they are understaffed and they need more employees in order to do their jobs. This is one of the main points in the Belgian review, with officials working from their own purpose-built HQ called Scotland House, Brussels. They've got this hugely expensive property, because Brussels is massively expensive. They've got this well-appointed office, fully staffed, and with staff complaining they've got too much to do. Here's an idea. Close the office, fire the staff, save the money, and let the British Embassy do all the work. And that way, you're getting all the same work done, but for nothing. And that $9 million a year can be ploughed into other areas. But no, because the other areas don't give you a hard-on, do they? We previously told how the SNP executive fork out $500,000 a year to rent the office, which is just a few yards away from the European Commission's huge Berlaymont headquarters. Although the European Commission looks at that office and goes, who the hell are these people? They don't have any standing. Anyway, it is the highest headcount of all the international premises, with 29 staff, 2 shared interns, 10 Scotland Europa, and 17 Scottish Government, both diplomatic and locally engaged staff. And by Scottish Government diplomats, they mean UK diplomats. Scotland does not have any specific diplomats because Scotland cannot, by law, have any diplomats. Because Scotland is not a sovereign country, and diplomats can only be from a sovereign country. They have to be internationally registered as well and qualified. You can't just go and be a diplomat. You have to be qualified, you have to be registered, you have to have what's called accepted standing. You have to present yourself when you go to a new country. You have to be presented to the head of state or the head of state's representative. You are given official standing by the form of a letter patent. It's all very complex. Scotland hasn't got any diplomats. They're UK diplomats. The publication said, sorry about the gap there. There was a strange sound from outside and I had to think about what it was. The publication said, the consequences of these cross-cutting challenges, apologies, has been staffing gaps within the SHB, Scotland House Brussels, team. Now, it's quite simple. If they're overworked, the poor dears are overworked, let's ease their pain. Let's just fire them. Fire the one in Copenhagen, fire the one in Paris, fire the one in New York, fire them all. Close them down and save the money. And let the British Embassy deal with all the obviously very hard work that these people can't do. What a bunch of tits. And what a waste of money, time, effort. For nothing. For nothing. I'll stop there. I'll come up and we'll finish the video. I had to work out what that noise was. I said about a noise. I went out and had a look. The bin lorry was going up the road and it stopped and the guy put the bins on and as it went up to tip the bins in, Jesus, something's wrong. It was wailing like a banshee. Like that. I've never heard a sound like it. Sound like they're eviscerating a cow or something. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, these embassies. They just close them. Just close them. They're pointless, they're needless, they're expensive, and they're there only to massage egos and make all these inadequate tossers in Holyrood feel like they're actually doing something. They're not. They're just wasting time, effort, and everybody's bloody money. Anyway, I'll stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Do keep watching. We've got loads more videos to go today. I'm still waiting on the upshot of that meeting from Wishart, but we will keep an eye out for that one to see if the pressure will be piled on Humza to go. Do hope so. Oh, fuck, I said his name. I meant not to. Apologies. Anyway, till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will see you later. Bye.